If you do not choose appropriate data type, you will see data incorrectly designed on the form,
Okay.
right?
Can you choose, because I've done the rest of the, can you choose one of them and let's see? Okay. Okay. Now it's showing. Okay.
Right. So I kept
Because
the
of that.
same name. So the script that you wrote or the UI policy that you implemented is utilizing the
Okay.
same name, right? This control, I deleted it earlier, but then created with the same name. So the
Yeah.
UI policy is in force and you can see it here. Okay?
Okay. Good. What else? Okay. That resolved that one. And can you show? Oh, okay. It's showing my remember to
Right.
allow time to pick up. Okay. Because I did that. Okay. All
Okay?
right. Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Rest of you, Abhi, Shweta, and Vikrant, you have any question?
Sweta, are you there?
Yeah.
Sweta?
Uh, no, sir.
Oh, Sweta has mute.
Okay, great. I hope you were able to do the assignments and you are at the same pace as at the
Yes.
same level.
Except the last number 11. You didn't do it yesterday, did you? Because I think I left the day before yesterday.
And
Rahul,
yeah,
did you do number 11 of the assignment?
let me see. The,
Create search module for user.
let,
I, I didn't see you finish
no,
that.
no, that's not
Okay,
done.
so that's where. Okay,
Hang on a
no,
second, please.
I
I'm just
didn't
going
do
to.
that.
Rahul, when we create an application, update set will be generated automatically, or do we need to create that?
See, with application, automatic update sets creation is done, right? But you
Yeah,
can also
that's what
create
I'm saying.
update set on your own. So it's both the statements are true.
I didn't get you. Come again?
You can create update set on your own as well as the update sets are created by default when you create an application. So you can choose what
Yeah.
update set you want to have there, right?
Okay. Okay.
So think
Yeah.
from this perspective. You and your friend or colleague started working on an application, let's say marketing events application, right?
Okay,
Marketing events apps application. Okay? Now you are here. This is you and this is he, right? The other person. Now both of you start working on this marketing event application, right? So it's obvious that one of you will create the application, right? And with that one update set will be created. Okay? And this is on the same instance. Now, since you created the application first, you are going to use the update set that was created by you. But then, if this person wants to have his changes located into some file, then he'll create his own update set and start working it. And when completed, the update set from this person will be merged into the update set from this person. Make sense? So that's why you will see that you can create update sets on your own, as well as you can utilize the update set created by the system. Okay?
Okay.
Now, Shweta has some questions on, can you explain that the code performed on Friday? What piece of code, Shweta, you want to discuss? JavaScript. Let me see what we did on Friday. Yeah, we added some messages on the form, right? Let's go ahead and see what we did there. On equipment, all equipment requests table, when we submitted something, yeah, we saw that message, right? Remember to allow allow time for pickup and return of rental equipment. Right, so this message we were to show on the form. For that, what we did is we went to the form, and I think we did it using UI policy. Let me see. Yeah. So it's very simple. When you create a UI policy, you supply the table name on which the UI policy will be implemented, a description, the condition when the UI policy will be displayed, which is in this case, marketing events is not empty. So this is the condition. This is when this message will be displayed. And then within run script, what I did is I used the default function, which is function on condition, and within that on condition, I am using this gform object and add info message method. This add info message method will show you the messages on the screen. That's it. It's very simple. Yeah.
Mr. Rao,
Yep.
um, on the condition, I don't know what version I was using. If you go up a little bit, where we have the condition, yeah, stay there. Where marketing event is not empty, my its marketing event is none. I don't have it all together like that.
Let me see. I'll quickly go into your instance. See, it might be possible that the values that you see in this drop down has changed with the new version. So that's acceptable, right?
Yeah,
Even if you have
yeah.
none there, that should work. No, it should not be none, right? It should be something there. You acknowledge
Yeah, it
this.
said it's not none.
This is the message.
There,
Oh,
there.
see, marketing events. Go into this list and pick is not
Oh,
empty.
it's not there. Okay,
Okay?
this is mine.
Yeah, this is your
Okay,
instance. That
okay.
22800. So this is
I
your
didn't
instance.
find it.
And I'll save it.
I wonder why I didn't find
No problem. Right? So
it. Okay.
yeah. So Shweta, to your question, this is a very simple message that puts a message on very simple method that puts a message on the form showing to you that you have allowed the users, you are reminding users to allow time for pickup and return of the rental equipment. Okay, any specific question regarding that? Okay. Now, let's go ahead and see one thing, which is the dependent values. To understand dependent values, what I'll do is I'll refer to the incident application. I'll go to incident in the application navigator, and I'll hit create new. And when I hit create new, I see the incident form, and there are several controls or data types or fields available on the form. What I am interested on to right now is the category and subcategory. And we are going to discuss about dependent fields. Okay? We are going to discuss about dependent fields. Now, it's pretty obvious. Dependent fields mean if one field value, if values of one field is dependent on selected value of the other field, right? So this is the case where you have field 1 where you selected value 1, right? So for field 1 value 1, you get field 2, and within field 2 you get value 1, value 2, value 3, right? But when you select
Okay.
field 1, and from the field 1 value, let's say 2, then you will have a different set of values available here,
Ah,
right? Likewise, field 1 value 3,
select.
and this
Then
gives
it
you
changes.
5, 3, and it gives you 2 as well, right? So the value in field 2 changes according to the selected value in field 1. Okay? If
Okay.
that is the case, the type of controls we are going to deal with is known as dependent field. Let's quickly see a dependent field on the incident form. On the incident form, I have this subcategory field. When we load the form, the category is selected as inquiry slash help, which is the default selection here. The subcategory selected is none. Let's go ahead and see what are the values available in subcategory. Antivirus, email, and internet application. If I go back to the category field and I select request, and then I come to subcategory, the values change to password reset, password expired, and account locked.
Okay. Hmm.
If I go back to software, see the values changing. Email or operating system. Hardware, CPU, disk, keyboard, memory, monitor, mouse. Network. So with each value that you select in the category field, the subcategory values also change. So consider this as field 1, consider this as field 2. So if that is the scenario, I'll say that the subcategory field is a dependent field on the category field, right? It has dependent values based upon selection from the category field. Okay? So how do we establish this relationship of category and subcategory, the dependent fields? We can establish this relationship. There are several ways of doing this. Let's go to the form designer And on the form designer, I have this subcategory field here. Let me make sure that I am into appropriate application so that I can edit. See, I am into the marketing application scope right now, so I'm unable to edit these fields, right? So I'll go here, I'll scroll down, and I'll change the scope of the application from marketing events to global. Now I go back here and I'll refresh it. When I refresh, I now have the ability to change the, modify the page. Now let's go to the subcategory field. When I go to subcategory field, it says label is subcategory, name subcategory, type string, mandatory no, read only no, dependent. Yes, it is dependent and dependent on category field. That's what we are about to discuss right now. The value of subcategory field is dependent on the category field. Okay. Now, it also says to you configure dependent choices from the actual form. Right? It is not allowing you to configure that dependent choice list right from here. So let's go back here and let's quickly go ahead and so in inquiry I have antivirus, email and internet application. Let's go ahead and add one more, which will be other or others. Okay, so I'll right click on the subcategory and then I'll do two things, configure choices. When I go here, I can create a new choice item and add it to the list simply. That's done. But then I have to define what dependent value from the dependent field here should be associated to the new value that I'm going to create. Let's go here. For that, I'll use configure dictionary. I'll go to configure dictionary. When I do configure dictionary, it will open up the subcategory dictionary item and it will give me a list of choices available here. I'll go ahead and create a new choice and keep other inquiries. Okay, and let's put a value of something known as something like 13 and submit it. And let's see how the value for these has been kept. Oh, value for these labels, these choices have been kept as a string. So I'll go ahead and mark that as a string. I'll mark that as other inquiries and save it. Now look at the column which is known as dependent value, right? And I see that there is a value known as inquiry, and I am going to associate this dependent value to the new value I created into the subcategory field. This is other inquiries. So to associate this other inquiries value to the inquiries category, I'll go ahead to the dependent value field and I'll associate the inquiry field here. Once done, I'll save it and I'll go back to create new form. Now the category is inquiry. Let's go ahead and see if we have other inquiries in place. See, we now have other inquiries here. Let's go ahead and pick some other value. For example, if I pick software, let's see if we have other inquiries in there in the subcategory value list of choices. Oh no, We don't have it here. So this displays how we can create a dependent field and add values that will be dependent on certain values from the dependent field. Okay? Make sense?
Rahul, so if you show other inquiry,
Yep.
right? No, on the top. If you show other,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
That's because
Oh, okay.
we made a
That one inquiry.
relationship between
Okay.
other inquiries and the inquiry help.
Yeah, yeah. I got it. Thanks.
No problem. Clear with all of you? Shweta, Abhi and Vikrant, please let me know if you have any doubt. Okay, so that's dependent field, dependent value. Let's go to the marketing event application. Let's also visit the requirement document and see we are done until this. Now it is asking to create a search module for a user. The user should be able to search a record from the table. Put this module in self-serve application and marketing event application. So we are talking about creating a module for this application. See, like we have two modules with this application right now. Think from the scenario. But see, these two modules that you have here, these are for inputting records into the table or database. Right? You are using to take values from the user. So the requirement that you have here is to create a module where you can go ahead and search a specific record from the database. For that, let's quickly go to modules. Modules is a module within system definition application. And since the requirement talks about creating a module which is of search type, let's go ahead into the modules module, and then I'll go ahead and create new module. I will then go ahead and put a name for it, and it is let's go and do this for equipment. So I'll make it as search equipment request, and the application menu, let's keep it in marketing event application. So this menu item, this module will be displayed into the marketing events application. Let's keep the order of this module as one. No hint, no nothing. And link type. Here we will pick the link type as, so you have different link types available. Assessment, content page, document link, home page, HTML, list filter, list of record, new record, run a report, etc. Search screen. You could go ahead and use link type as search screen. I think that should be done. That should be enough. I'll also come back and make this as list of records, right? But let's quickly go ahead and do search screen. Let's save it. Let's go back to the marketing application. I now see search equipment request here, which is a new module for me. Let's click on this. When you click on this, you get the equipment request form. But have you noticed one thing? We have seen this form earlier, right? We have seen this form. We have used a form of this kind to input records into the equipment request table. But here, you do not have a submit button. All you have is a search button. Search button here, search button here, search button here. Okay? So using this form, now you have a search tool here. A module which is a search module, right? If you have to search, let's say if you want to search an equipment type projector or something, let's see if this works. It's not working. I'll have to see the type of values I have kept in this. I'll get rid of all these, remove it here, and I'll go to equipment type, bring equipment type here. And then with equipment type, I'll bring cost as well. I'll bring needed from, needed until, and marketing events to the list, right? And for sorting, etc., I'll use created and created by, and I'll save the view. I have these things. Now I can go ahead and search, for example, mouse. If I need to search mouse, I'll go ahead and type in mouse and hit search, and it will bring to me the result which is related to mouse. Okay, so this gives you an ability to search on the basis of different fields that you have. Let's go ahead and search on the date value for needed until. If I go to needed until and I search on this field, let's see what happens. So it gives me that record that has needed until value as this date, right? So use any of these fields to search records from the equipment request table, right? So that's how you create a module, and that module is associated to the marketing event application. And this module that we have created is of search link type, right? So it will allow you to search this module here. Now let's go back, and as I promised earlier, let's go ahead and talk about the link type as list of records. If I do link type as a list of records and I save it and I go back to marketing and I do search equipment, it's again a list of records from the table. It's not the search screen anymore. See, this is not the search screen anymore. This is a list of records. So you can go ahead and change the type of the link type in the module here, and then accordingly you can bring up the screen there. Whatever purpose you have, you can go ahead and open the screen there. Okay, if it is to be a map page, and you want to display a list of maps, so this is very vague example, don't get carried away with this. I just want to show that what are the types of modules that you can create, right? When I hit on search equipment request, instead of having a search window or instead of having a list of records, it will now present to me a map window here that shows all critical incident locations. The locations where critical incidents are created right now, right? Because I chose it that way. I chose link type as map, and within that The map I chose was critical incident map page, right? That's map page. If you go ahead and do something like assessment, and then you pick one assessment page, right? It's kind of a metric that has been created for different application, other applications. Just want to show you that you have that flexibility where you using this you can see other things. So it says there is no qualification done. So it says an incorrect assessment or survey was provided on demand expected, right? Let's go back and see other types. Content page. If you have created a content page that you want to display, for example, if I create a page here, new page, and I give the name of this page as marketing events page, something like that. Let's let's view the page. I'm quickly creating a new page so that we can see what will be displayed when we open up that page. So there is nothing here. One thing is that mm, let's go ahead and not waste time. Let's go ahead and pick any created page, the page that is already created. For example, I can go ahead and pick this manage sites, right? So this is a content page. This is a simple web page that you have created using ServiceNow that we want to display there. Let's go back to marketing events application here. And when I hit this search equipment request, it is opening up this page, which is a different one, a different page. See, that's because on the module, I chose the link type to be a content page, and the content page that I chose here was manage sites. See here, it is showing the manage sites page now, right? A content page was created already. This is a sample content page created already. And since I picked this content page here and provided the content page and manage site, when I hit on this search module on the marketing event application, this content page is getting opened. So the idea is to look through all of the values available in link type and then create appropriate module as required. For now, we have to keep it as search screen, right? And let's go ahead and submit this. Now you can also associate this module to different applications. For example, if I do not want to show this into marketing events application, rather than I want to show this in self-service application. So I'll go ahead and save it with self-service application menu selected. And then I go to marketing event application. See, the module has gone away. It's not here because I disassociated it from the marketing event application and associated it to self-service application. Let's go ahead and see into the self-service application if we have that module available. I'll go ahead and look into self-service application, which is this one, expand it, and on the top of the list it says search equipment request, and when I hit this, I get this equipment request form and can search on the records available in the table, and I now get this record from the self-service application, right? So this is up to you. How do you want to associate different modules to different applications? I'll go back to associate this to marketing event application. See, at this point, you might be wondering, why do we need this search page? But think from the perspective where where the number of records in the equipment request table has increased, and you have, let's say, 1,000 records in the equipment request table, right? And then you want to have a searching capability. So that would be a case where you will like to have a search equipment request, a search page that will actually go ahead and allow you to search different records from the table depending upon some of the fields. Now you can also go ahead and design this form. Go to that form designer, and if you want to, again, you will have to go to marketing events application in order that you can edit this. Now I am on form designer. I don't want to show this list of control. I don't want to search on basis of cost. All I want to do is I want to search on the basis of equipment type and marketing events. So I'll pick those fields, save it, go back to the module and reload the form, right? It now gives you the ability to search on the basis of equipment type or the marketing events. Okay? Okay? Make sense? Isn't it cool to have this feature? Are you all with me? Sam, Vikrant, Shweta, Abhi.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Great. Hope this is clear.
So when you went to design form on the marketing and you took away those two,
Right.
and then you right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
What's the question?
No. I was asking. You went to the marketing events and design form design, and
Equipment
then you
request.
took away.
I went to equipment
Yeah.
request. On the search equipment request module, I went to configure form design, right?
Oh,
I
and you
did,
took away the two.
yeah. I didn't want to have this form cluttered. I only wanted to search on the basis of equipment types or marketing events. So only these two fields I wanted to allow user to search onto. So for that, I removed
Mhm.
all those other fields from this form and kept just these
Yeah.
two fields, equipment type and marketing events. I
Okay.
want it to be a neat screen where only two fields are to be searched.
Okay.
Okay, great. So that's number 11,
Uh, okay.
right? Number 11 is done.
But number 11, I have a question.
Sure,
You said create a model for a user, right?
right,
Um, what is it? For a user, the user should be able to search a record from the table,
right,
put this model in self-service application,
right.
and
Or marketing event
or,
damage.
or is it all?
Right.
Okay. All right.
Okay, that's
Okay.
great. With that, we come to this exercise 2, which is complete the service catalog item. Okay, and we discussed about catalog items earlier a little bit, where we discussed about going to a restaurant and then looking into the menu that they have. That was the catalog that we were referring to, right? Now we have the same kind of catalog here. On the self-service screen, we have that catalog available, and from this list of items available here, I can go ahead and pick any item, open that, and process the request that I have. right? Now see, if this application, marketing event application, was requested by the finance team, right? Would you like to present this application the same way where they have to go on to all equipment request table and then you hit the new button and create record? Would you like to allow them to see all these records? I think no,
No,
right?
no.
All you will like to have them is to open up a screen like this, right? Where the screen is open up and they are allowed to input the values that they need to supply to create a record, right? So that's it. They don't need to see all these records here, right? Hang on a second, it's taking some time. So for that, what we can do is we can design a form, and that form can be used by us to produce records from the user input screen. Okay? So we are now going to create, see, this is what I'm going to tell you. We have these many boxes. Box 1, box 2, box 3. Let me do this. Then you have a submit button. So you have a form like this where you have all these fields and then you have submit button. When you submit this, this record goes into the database and your record is created, right? But then you do not want to display all the records to the user. This is the requirement. So for that, what you will do is you will create a catalog item somewhere here, right? You go ahead and create a new catalog item that will have fields like these. Whatever fields that you want to populate from the user input screen, you bring those fields from this area to this area on the catalog, service catalog that you design.
Mm-hmm.
Let's assume that we only want these four fields, not all of the fields. Let's assume that they only want four fields populated by the user. I mean, only four fields should be inputted. Should the user input there, right? Cost will be automatically populated by the backend or something, right? By the admin user. So for that, what you will do is you will create a service catalog item, and from that service catalog item, we have to pick record producer, right? In the service catalog item application, you will have this record producers, which are used to produce records, right? This will give you an ability to produce records to a form, right? Right? Right from the service catalog item. For example, you can create a record producer and associate to an appropriate category on the home page, and then you can click from that home page and access that record producer or form. Let's go ahead and see what this means. I'll go ahead and create a new record producer. This record producer will be to create marketing event records. Okay. Now the table I'm going to pick is marketing event. Let's make sure that we are into appropriate application and updates it. Yes, we are. So I'll leave it and let's see if it is. I don't want to have any product model right now with associated with this, so I'll leave it blank. Application is marketing events, which is correct, and I'll put a short description. Use this screen to allow marketing event marketing event. Right, that's the description. Where do you want to associate it? What catalog? We'll come back to this. I'm going to submit this simply. I submitted it, right? Let's go back and pick the one which we created. We created this create marketing event records, right? This is the first thing that I did. I created a record producer. Go into the record producer. There is one link which is preview link that you can utilize. Preview item. When you hit preview item, a form will open up, right? That shows the record producer that you created, but it doesn't have any of the controls on it because we didn't create any control, right? Let's go ahead and see if you can create some controls to this form. For that, you have to create variables. To create, so these will be termed as variables when it comes to the scope of service catalog and record producer application. So the controls that we create here are created in terms of variables. So the first control that we want to create here is equipment type. Uh, we chose the marketing application there. So let's keep it to marketing table only. So I'll first question that I'm going to create is location of the marketing event. And I'll submit it. Let's go ahead and see the impact of it. We just created a variable. If I scroll down, I'll see a variable here, right? Let's go ahead and do preview item. When I do preview item, I see on the form there is one control which says location of the marketing event. Okay? Well, let's mark this as city. I'll open the marketing form so that you can correlate. See, on the marketing event, you have this marketing event form here, right? So I am creating one-to-one mapping on the form here on the record producer. Right? This name I am going to populate using this variable, which is location of the marketing event. Let's name it as marketing event, right? When I save this, preview it. Now I have this marketing event. Let's go ahead and populate another one, which is which is number of attendees expected. I'll go ahead and add new and mark it as, the question is the label field, right? Number of attendees expected. And I'll mark that variable name as attendees expected and I'll save it, right? Let's go back and do preview item. When I do preview item, I have another item coming in, which is number of attendees expected, right? Let's go back and pick the third one, which is number of attendees registered. I'll go ahead and create a new value here. Number of attendees registered. Submit it. Going back to the preview item, it will show me the third item coming in on the form, right? Let's go ahead and pick the sponsor as well and start an end date. So three more fields. I'll put sponsor here, sponsor. I'll save it. I'll go back. Pick the type as date, and this time I am going to need it from. This is the date type. I have changed the type actually, right? So this is the date type, needed from, and then I'll go ahead and put one more variable, which is again date type, and it will be needed until, and then I save it. Let's go back and preview the item. Doing that, I now can see that we have all the required fields coming in here, right? Now let's go back and see this. The fields that we populated here is not ordered. Let's see how we can order these fields. I'll go back here, and to the list of variables that I have here, I'll start putting order number. The first one, which is marketing event, I want to display it first, so I'll put something like 100. You can even start with 1. The next one that I want to display as the sponsor, so I'll keep it 200. You can do, after 1 you can do 2 as well. I'll then do 300 here. But this will be my third item. This will be my fourth item. This will be my fifth item, 500, and this will be my sixth item, 600. I'll save it, update it. Let's go back, and then I'll preview this item. When I do preview item, I now see the appropriate order coming in. Marketing event, sponsor, number of attendees registered, number of attendees expected, needed from, and needed until. Right? Now, you will say We designed this form, but what's the use of it, right? Do we need to use this form like this, going and previewing items? No, you don't have to do that. Now, the intent that we had while we created this form was to display this form somewhere on the self-service page so that user can go ahead and right from these links available in the service catalog items, pick that create a marketing event request form and then create the request right from there, right? We don't want user to be worried about going and searching the marketing event application from the application navigator and work there, right? So let's go ahead and try to associate the new record producer that we created to this can we help you category, right? So this is one of the catalog item category that we have here. So for that, within the record producer that we created, if I scroll down, I see two things. Under the accessibility level, I have catalogs and category, right? So I'll first pick up the catalog value. The catalogs that are created within the system are of two types right now, which is technical and service catalog. I'll go ahead and pick the service catalog because I know that within service catalog, I have this can we help you category available, right? So within service catalog, I'll try to find out, is it within service catalog or is it within, it should be within service catalog. So I'll go ahead and pick this can we help you category. So doing that, we'll associate this create marketing event records onto this. See, we do not have create marketing events record link item here in the can we help you category right now. So I'm going to associate that to service catalog and then can we help you category and then I'm going to update it. After updating it, I'll go back to this self-service page and I'll refresh it. Let's refresh it. See on this form, it is now having create marketing event records, right? It was not there earlier, but now we have it. So we now associated a record producer on the can we help you category catalog item, which will now allow you to create records for the create marketing event for the marketing event application, and you can go ahead and put these values. For example, let's say Noida marketing event sponsor is my company. Number of attendees registered is, let's say, 50. Number of attendees expected 45. Needed from, I'll start from tomorrow, which is 15th, and needed until 16th, and I'll submit it. When I submit it, this should create a record in the marketing events table, right? So it took you to the marketing event form here. See the marketing event form, right? It took you to the marketing event form, and you see that the sponsor value is Turasys.com. Now, you see that not all of the values from the existing form, the earlier form, the catalog record producer form are carried here, but the sponsor field is carried here on this form, which is Turasys.com, right? So we have to make sure the value that we populate on the record producer that we just created should be propagated to the marketing event form here. How we can do it is something that we'll do tomorrow. But for today, I want you to create a record producer, add those fields on the record producer, which will be used to populate value on the marketing event form. And then once the record producer is created, associate that record producer to can we help you category under the service catalog item, right? And display that record producer here. And when you click this, it should open up this form like this, and then you are able to submit the records. I'll I'll show you how we can propagate these values from this form to the other form. So these are the values that you get here. You want to cascade these values to the other form, which is marketing event application, right? How we can do that? We'll be doing that tomorrow. Make sense? I don't want
I
to.
have a
Yeah, go ahead.
so in this case, are we going to follow the 12 exercise 2? I
Yeah,
mean, to your
yeah, yeah.
specification?
Let's do number 12. Okay,
Okay.
let's do number 12.
Where you said that specification reference, we should be able to find that, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
I got it.
So
Okay.
at least what you have to do is you have two assignments today. Create the one which is number 11, creating the module for search.
Yes.
The other one is to create this record producer. Although this record producer will not be populating value to the other form, but I want you to create that record producer and associate that record producer to the can we help you category and bring that on the self-service page, right? So that's the objective here, to create record producer and bring that on the self-service page under appropriate catalog and category.
To the self-service, right?
Right, to self-service.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
No problem. Any other question from
Is what is Shweta there? I sent an email to her, but she didn't reply. I wanted to know whether she got it. But anyway, I figured it out. That was my problem we discussed. That's fine.
okay. Any more question from Abhi, Shweta or Vikrant?
No, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So